Hello friends, it is only 4 weeks, just 1 month until Canada Day, and today I am going to grab one of these new fat quarter bundles. This is with the O Canada 12 collection, and that has 12 fat quarters in it, and I'm going to do a really quick little quilt. This quilt, my aim is it's going to be done in 1 day, so that we can have this nice little throw ready for Canada Day in a few weeks. So this is one of a few projects that I'm going to be working on over this week, and this one is the one we're going to do today. So let's grab this bundle and let's go.
The pattern for this quilt is included free of charge when you do purchase the 12 fat quarter bundle. And as per your pattern, you're going to lay out all of your fat quarters, and from each fat quarter you will get one large square, a large rectangle, a smaller rectangle, and then 4 small squares. And then the leftover strip will be used for your binding. After you've finished cutting all of your pieces, you're going to take your large rectangle and your small rectangle and put them together into pairs. I like to choose 2 that have some form of a contrast, but this is a very free-form quilt, so you can do whatever you like. You're just going to choose one large one, one small one, and put them together as you please, and then set them aside. Now we're going to grab our small squares, and we are going to put these together in groups of 4. So you'll be making a 4-patch block out of your small squares. Again, put them together however you please, whatever looks good to you, just put them together. I am trying to get this quilt done in 1 day, so I am not over analyzing it. I am just putting them together and then going to set them aside to then sew up into 4-patch squares. Now we're going to grab our pairs of our large rectangle and small rectangle, and we will sew these together, right sides together, with a 1/4 inch seam. And do the same with all of your rectangle pairs. Now you will take your sets of 4 small squares and sew them together to form a 4-patch block. pattern gives us 3 blocks from each fat quarter. So with our 12 fat quarters, we are going to have 36 blocks to put together. I decided I want to do mine 6 blocks down and 6 across, but of course you can choose to set out your blocks however you like them. And again, the actual layout of the blocks is completely up to you as well. So you can play with your block distribution and how you place them. It's totally up to you. Again, I want this quilt done in a day, so I'm going to try and be as quick as possible and not overthink my layout. I'm just going to lay them down as best as possible and start sewing these guys together. So we'll take the blocks from each row and sew those blocks together with a 1/4 inch seam. Then you will sew your rows together using a 1/4 inch seam. And there you have your quilt top completed. Quilt and bind to your preference. I'm going to quilt mine using some big stitch quilting. I'm going to use some pearl cotton, an embroidery needle, my needle threader, and my thimblets to protect my finger while I'm pushing. Grab approximately a 1/2 yard piece of your pearl cotton, and I'm going to use my clover double-sided needle threader to thread that needle because I'm blind. So you can see here it has one end that's for regular size needles, and then it has the end that I'm using here is for your larger needles and your thicker threads, and it works like a dream. Now I'm just going to make a little slip knot on the end of my thread. I'm going to put a thimble pad on my finger where I tend to push my needle through the quilt. And now we're going to start stitching. We're going to put the needle into the fabric about 2 inches away from where you actually want to start stitching. And you're going to put the needle in between the 2 layers of fabric so it's only going through the batting. And then push the needle up at the point where you want to start stitching. Now we're going to bury our thread knot by gently tugging on the fabric, and then you'll hear it pop and it will get buried in between your 2 layers of fabric in the batting. And snip the little thread tail. Now we'll start stitching. You're simply going to go up and down through all 3 layers. You can make your thread length as long or as short as you like. You just want to get into a rhythm and enjoy the process. When you come to the end of your row of stitching, you will form another little slip knot on the end of your thread, and then you are going to repeat the same process as you did at the beginning by slipping your needle in between the 2 layers of fabric through the batting, and then popping the little slip knot so that it gets buried in between the 2 layers. And the big stitch quilting in the ditch gives it a very subtle effect on the front, but it gives it a lovely texture on the back. Hope you enjoyed this quick little video to make this quick little quilt. And don't forget that the Fat Quarter bundle that comes with the free pattern is available by clicking the link in the description box below.